echo chambers exists across the board. It's ideologically neutral in that sense, in that there are echo chambers everywhere. And I find the pluralism discussion hard when somebody just assumes he or she knows the entire landscape and isn't open to alternative views. And this, of course, is exacerbated on social media. So one of the massive challenges to the experiment of pluralism is Twitter, right? It's going to get worse unless we figure out alternative ways to communicate with people who are different, and if we avoid the caricatures and the quick dismissals of really complex people and complex issues. And then I'll also say that in speaking sometimes to primarily Christian audiences, I find a massive impediment to pluralism is just this fear narrative, this worry that the big bad secular university is going to corrupt your kids, or that, right, if you find yourself in the presence of Muslims, somehow your faith will be shattered. And I don't know where this comes from exactly, but it's out there, and it's out there quite strongly in some parts of the country, and it seems completely antithetical to how I understand the Gospels and the Christian message, right? And Jesus going to places of lots of diversity and lots of places where you won't always certain who you're going to find or what the situation would be like. And so it seems to me that Christians of all people should be leading the way into some of those spaces, and instead we have a fear narrative that's governing a lot of our communities.
And at the risk of saying too much on this, I think that this is apropos of where we are, right? So much of what I do wrong right now on Twitter or on my blog, I think to myself, like, my PhD advisor told me to never do this, right? And what I mean by that is I actually think that a really good cure to much of the disease that John talks about, which is echo chambers, homogenous thought bubbles, etc., is good academic practice. What do I mean by that? Gather reasonable amounts of representative evidence, right? Never assume correlation is causal. Do not assign intentions to the people that you're studying. Don't tell them why they did what they did. Be extremely suspicious of the intentions they assign to their own actions. Be enormously judicious about coming to conclusions. Do not study the world. Do not tell people you're studying the world and instead report on your worldview. Right? Like basic things that people learn at universities. Here is how you find representative evidence. Here is how you are very careful about conclusions. Here is how you use language in a way that's enormously judicious. These basic things, I think, are extreme. Like, I think to myself, like, what my PhD advisor was in love with a soft version of Karl Popper. Karl Popper said that as the only way to prove your theory is to proactively be looking for cases that contradict it. You can't prove a theory by finding additional cases of its existence, right? So as soon as you have a worldview or a theory of the world, you have to be on the hunt for things that contradict it, as opposed to more cases that illustrate it.